Hello and welcome to the 2023 year-ender and the first episode for the year going ahead 2024 of Talking Politics on the Hindus YouTube channel. Now, as you all know, for the last 3 years that we have been conversing on this platform, that I really do not like to look back, and I'm a rather forward-thinking sort of a person. So rather than do yet another year-ender of the year gone by, let's move ahead and look at what's in store for us in 2024. Now, 2024 is going to be an extremely exciting year as far as politics is concerned. India, the largest democracy in the world, will be going in for general elections to elect its new government. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attempt to get a third straight term, successive term in the post, a feat accomplished only by India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru up till now. Let's see whether he makes it past the post, and the opposition will try to make sure that he doesn't reach that milestone. Now, after the assembly elections of the end of 2023, everybody thinks it's a done deal, but let's move on. A week is a long time in politics, and what fun would it be if it was just a one-sided game? So as we go into 2024, here are the two big things that the BJP, which is the ruling party, and the Congress, which is the main opposition, are trying to do to kick off this very, very exciting year in Indian politics. The first such effort to arouse collective effervescence in its respective support bases for the BJP and the Congress will be the consecration of the Ram temple in Ayodhya by the RSS, BJP, and the Bharat Nyay Yatra to be undertaken from the eastern part of the country to the western part by the Congress. Now, the BJP and its ideological ecosystem led by the RSS is going all out to make sure that the consecration of the Ram temple in Ayodhya, a cause over which a movement was launched by the VHP and politically supported by the BJP since the late 1980s, and which saw BJP occupy a pole position in Indian politics, becomes the fulcrum around which a massive mandate can be garnered, a huge amount of support can be garnered from the Indian people. Now, a grand ceremony is being planned on January 22nd in Ayodhya for this purpose by the Ram Janmabhoomi Tirtha Kshetra Trust, which is overseeing the construction of the Ram temple there after a court order. Apart from the culmination of a major ideological project for the Sangh Parivar, the consecration is also expected to accomplish several other things in terms of political and ideological outcomes. It's all very well. I mean, it is a big deal for the BJP and the RSS and the ideological spectrum to which they belong to have completed this task. Please remember that for the BJP, there are three basic core issues of its ideology. The first, of course, was the removal of the Article 370, which accords special status to Jammu and Kashmir, which they did in 2019. Then the construction of a Ram temple in Ayodhya, the Babri Masjid, the destruction of the Babri Masjid, and all of that happened in the 80s and the 90s and shaped a lot of our politics in our country there. And the third core ideological issue is the implementation of a uniform civil code. So 370 has been done, and the temple construction, consecration means the establishment of the deity of Ram Lalla Birajman, the infant Lord Rama, at his birthplace. The deity will be consecrated, and that temple will then be open for pilgrims and pious to pay homage and pray to Lord Ram Lalla. So this is going to be a big deal, but there are also layers and layers to this event, as I will tell you subsequently. Now, the ceremony itself is going to be attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and several other dignitaries. Thousands are expected. Hotel rooms are not to be had for love or money in Ayodhya. It's a small town, and there is a lot of construction, etc., happening there around this. We've heard and we've carried stories that real estate prices have shot up. So if you're somebody who owns land around Ayodhya, well, it's boom time for you. And the invitation the extension of invitations to leaders of other political parties have also resulted in a very interesting situation. Well, they're also being seen as a way in which the BJP brings to sharp relief where each party stands, not just with regard to the Ram temple, but also Hindu civilizational issues and Hindu consciousness. The Ram temple movement, one of the biggest since independence, was headed by the Sangh Parivar and was opposed tooth and nail by the Babri Masjid Action Committee and several opposition parties. The Congress has emphasized its secular ethos, but the fact is that the locks of the Babri Masjid, where already in 1949 deities had been placed, idols had been placed within those, and the Babri Masjid had been locked since then because of the dispute. Those were opened under a Congress government, and the mosque, the Babri Masjid Mosque, was also destroyed under the watch of a Congress government. So that makes the situation extremely unclear there. So therefore, the BJP is pushing for the identification of the Ram temple as a Hindu civilizational issue, and to state that those who won't make it for the inauguration are practicing what they have been saying is appeasement politics, that they are not really on board with Hindu civilizational issues and are harking back to a secularism which does not make sense in this country. Among the opposition, the left parties have been the clearest in their declining of the invitation. VHP has extended an invitation to CPIM General Secretary Sitaram Yechuri as a leader of his party. Mr. Yechuri made a statement stating that the Indian Constitution and the Supreme Court have very clearly said that the state shall not profess any religious affiliations. This inauguration ceremony is being converted, and this is, I'm quoting all of it from Mr. Yechuri's statement, this inauguration ceremony is being converted into a state-sponsored event with the presence of both Prime Minister Narendra Modi and UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. It is a straightforward politicization of the religious belief of the people, which we don't think is in consonance with the constitutional order that we had. So there is a very clear statement from the CPM which has come, and between these two ferns, as we say, political parties are seen to be calibrating a response to these invitations. Mamata Banerjee has been non-committal so far. We've heard that she may attend, but she has been talking about the constitution as well. So it will be very, very interesting to see who turns up and how each party spins it. And it's very clear how the BJP is going to be spinning it and how the CPM is going to be spinning it. But those in the middle are the ones who are going to be caught out, because these are the centrist parties or regional parties which also seek votes from Muslim communities, minority communities in this country, as well as the majority communities in this country. So these are the two poles within which all of this calibration is going to happen. And yes, when you try to finesse too much, sometimes you get caught on the wrong foot, and that's what the BJP has been hoping. What will also unfold at this particular time is the Bharat Nyay Yatra led by Wayanad MP Rahul Gandhi. It is going to be similar yet different to his Bharat Jodo Yatra undertaken earlier, which was from the south to the north. Like, unlike the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which was by foot, the Nyay Yatra will be mostly covered by bus, along with short stretches of walking. This would be an east to west yatra, as I'd said before. It will start in Manipur, where we have seen horrendous violence and sectarian violence, and to the west. And whereas the Bharat Jodo Yatra was from the south to the north. And this particular yatra will cover 6,200 kilometers across 14 states, traveling through Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, Meghalaya, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and will culminate in Maharashtra. Now, these are states which were mostly not covered by the Bharat Jodo Yatra and will be flagged off by Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge from Imphal on January 14th. Now, while the Bharat Jodo Yatra concentrated on a message of social harmony, this one would be on social justice or Nyay. In an analytical piece written by my colleague Sandeep Phukan on the new Yatra, he says that by focusing on social justice, the Congress would also be hoping to build a counter narrative to the BJP's plans to make political capital after the grand inauguration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. As I said before, this calibration has taken another route. The Congress, which is a centrist sort of a party, it doesn't really want to annoy anybody, either the minorities or Ram Bhakts. So they are taking this way out and have announced this yatra. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi, while speaking to the media persons during the winter session of Parliament, said that the plank of social justice that he and his party had espoused rather vigorously in the run-up to the assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, and where the party lost elections, will continue, and that this was not the reason why the Congress lost those elections. He said that his plank of social justice, of a caste census, of more representation to OBCs was not rejected. He said that yes, the BJP has given an OBC chief minister in Madhya Pradesh, but that's not the issue. He says that what is the share of OBCs in the structure of authority in the country. The Prime Minister is an OBC, but the government is run by 90 officers. There are only 3 OBCs among them. This was partly the kind of speech that he made previously as well in Parliament, and he seems to be sticking to his views regardless of the electoral outcomes of the recent assembly elections. The issue of unemployed and inflation will figure prominently in the Nyay Yatra. Mr. Gandhi has cited them as the main reasons behind the 2 youths who breached Parliament security in the recently concluded winter session of Parliament. And in fact, 22 years to the day when Parliament was attacked by terrorists on December 13th. And he says that, of course, that was different. Those were terrorists. These are young people who seem to be extremely frustrated by unemployment and inflation. And these are the themes of part of his Nyay Yatra as well. And the theme of political justice would revolve around protecting the values enshrined in the Constitution. Now, AICC General Secretary in charge of communications, Jairam Ramesh, explained the difference between the Bharat Jodo Yatra and its follow-up, the Bharat Nyay Yatra, in a post on X. He said that the Bharat Jodo Yatra was anchored in the Constitution's preamble's pillars of liberty, equality and fraternity, and the unsaid value of secularism. By all counts, 2024 promises to be exciting in terms of politics, as I said before in my intro. And this will be the year which will decide who comes to power in Delhi for the next 5 years. Now, every country votes for the government that it deserves. But more importantly, for domestic politics, will 2024 give India the opposition that it needs after a gap of 10 years? Now, as I said, this is the last episode that I will be recording before we move into the new year. So I sign off on this last episode by wishing you all a very, very happy new year. Thank you so much for continuing to watch for 3 years now. And I will see you next week. A little bit of continuity as we move into the next year. Thank you very much.